Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. There was the standoff in Mississippi, Clinton, Mississippi, which is outside of Jackson, Mississippi, by only about 10 miles or so. Where 4 people were killed. It lasted like 12 hours. Started early in the morning, around 2:30 in the morning Saturday, and went from 2:30 all the way till about 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon Saturday. So I think officers were initially being called to the home for a domestic dispute. They were immediately met by somebody outside of the residence who fired at them, and they fired back, and then he retreated into the home, and that was the beginning of the standoff that went on, like I said, for 12 hours. I'll show you some footage of it, and it just became like this, almost like a war zone. It was described that way, and when you look at the home after it, it is. There's a reporter there who seems to be there after it's all done, kind of showing you how the home is just, the front door is smashed in, the windows are blown out. 4 people were killed. We don't know the identities of the four that were killed. The man, the suspect, the suspected shooter that was taken into custody at the end of this has died. So, and we believe by gunshot. I think that's the assumption, that from gunshot wounds, exchanging fire with officers. That's the individual right there. His name is Nam Lee, and says courtesy of Facebook. I wasn't able to find him myself. I think that's a fairly common Asian name, and so it's very difficult sometimes when there's just hundreds of them to go through. So, but that is the individual who looks to be fairly young, and we don't know the identities of the other 4, if they're his family members or what. 2 small children, I think, were actually handed over to authorities in the middle of, or towards the end of the standoff, and that's in this report. I'll show you that right there, that battering ram, that giant little piece of heavy equipment was used to smash in the front door, to gain entry, which they did at the end of like the 12 hours. And I think once they did, he was already injured, and that was pretty much the end of it. But the 4 that were dead were already dead inside. I don't know if they were dead from the very beginning or what. I'm sure we'll learn some more. I'll play portions of this. At some point, I think it shows you the children being walked out of the home. Shoot.
From a variety of law enforcement agents, when first responders subdue the suspect and make an arrest. Our cameras spotting this sniper-style rifle in the yard just across the street.
The suspect was taken into custody without injury.
The suspect was taken into custody.
Officer involved shooting.
Yeah, he was, so he later died. I'm trying to show you I thought it was 57 seconds. There it is, right there. The 2 young children that were handed over to authorities. It seems to be a fairly nice suburban neighborhood. I think it's a quiet town. Incidents like this rarely ever happen in Clinton, Mississippi. That's my feeling on it. And here's the home. Here's the home after the incident, and there's a reporter there kind of describing it. And look at it. It's just absolutely, it is a war zone. 4 people are dead, and now the gunman is dead, or the suspected gunman, which makes 5. I'm almost certain there was 4 dead, and then he is the 5th, and he didn't die until I think today, Sunday.
As you can see, there's a little shrine inside of the home. I don't know if you all can see that right there, but there's a little shrine in there. And again, the family did not want to go on camera, but they did tell me in their words that they're heartbroken. And again, this is definitely a tragic situation. The loss of any life is tragic.
It's totally crazy. What the motive behind all this was, we don't know. Why such a severe situation over a domestic dispute The Hinds County Corners Office has identified the male suspect as 34-year-old Nam Lee, who held multiple people hostage yesterday at 1214 Foxhill Drive in Clinton, Mississippi. He also killed 4 people before being apprehended around 2 p.m. by authorities. So I don't know. Was there four people held hostage? 2 of them were the kids, 2 others, and 4 were killed. That's what it kind of sounds like. There, Nam Lee was identified as the gunman accused of shooting 4 people to death in a domestic situation in a lengthy standoff inside a home in Clinton, Mississippi. Lee is also deceased. The mass shooting sparked because of a domestic dispute, according to CBS News, which reported that the scene was described as looking like a war zone. Lee, 34, was identified by the coroner. The identities of the victims have not been released. When our officers arrived, they received fire from the suspect. The suspect then retreated into the home, and it is with a saddened heart that I report multiple fatalities within the residence, said Clinton Police Chief Ford Heyman. There's a picture here where they're about to storm in there with like several officers in like gear, SWAT type gear. WJTV reporter said in a video posted on Facebook that the standoff lasted nearly 12 hours and led to the deaths of 4 people the next day. Other family members were at the home and told the journalists they were heartbroken and were in tears. The journalist video, which you can watch above, shows the front door of the home was damaged. The windows were blown out. The front door appeared to be smashed in. It's not clear how the victims were linked to the suspect. However, authorities did say that people inside the residence were family members. 2 children were released from the home in the midst of the tense and frightening standoff. The ages of the deceased victims are not yet known. According to the state, police entered the dwelling with a battering ram. The suspect was found injured inside the residence and died at a hospital, the news site reported. That's the picture I was referring to, where you can see they're about to make entry. I don't know if they already used that piece of equipment to smash in the front door and now they're about to enter or what. Shoot. So, standoff broke out around 2:30 a.m. in the morning on February 16th. That was Saturday. Police initially labeled it a highly active domestic hostage situation. A SWAT team eventually breached the home and took Lee into custody before he died. Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is now investigating the mass casualty situation. The mass shooting in Clinton came not long after the factory worker opened fire in Aurora, Illinois. It's pretty unusual and pretty crazy. It's obviously terribly sad. 4 people dead, and that's the situation there. If I'm able to find him on Facebook, I'll clip it on to the end of this, but I'll look a little bit. All right, thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.